In March 1997, following a letter of invitation to help with medical services in eastern Kenya, myself and two friends, Ken Sayers and Mark Collier, went in July of that year to make some preliminary investigations and to ascertain water purity and availability.
Which one's that?
The site of the proposed clinic was a wasteland of scrub and bush, and it was apparent that we had much work ahead of us. In March '98, following the purchase of the land, David Garrett and myself visited again. On this visit, David took levels and marked out the foundation. David's visit marked the commencement of the work. By this time, George Cunningham and Sons, stone specialists from Kilkeel, had volunteered to take on the building project, and the rest is history. The clinic was officially opened on 11th of January 1999, and a large party from Northern Ireland attended.
My name is Donna Dixon. I'm from McNard's.
My name is Donna McNard's.
My name is Arrington Knott.
My name is Miriam Cullen, and my daughter, the Countess Emmanuel.
Right. There, Marina.
We know the love that the Reverend and Lop has for the people of Kittimula. And we have seen in our short time here the love which the people have for him.
Since the opening of the clinic, we have built this large Christian education centre. We now have a staff accommodation block, and we have a mission house. Today we are fully operational in a medical and in an evangelical capacity. And the following will demonstrate the value of this work among some of the poorest of Kenya's 28 million inhabitants. This is the 7th year of Friends of Africa missionary endeavour, FAME. FAME was founded in 1996 with a twofold purpose in view: to strengthen Bible-believing churches within our capabilities in Africa, and to evangelise the lost through medical work and other humanitarian projects. Take, for instance, this little girl. As the string and skin cuttings show us, she has already been to the witch doctor, and now she has come to us. We can, of course, treat her, but more importantly, our pastor is on hand daily to bring to the child's mother, and indeed to all who come, the true gospel. By these means, we seek to stem the tide of evil by the power of the blood of Christ. Many are thus reached who would otherwise never hear the message of redeeming love. And they are brought under the sound of redeeming love by our demonstration of practical love. Brought face to face with eternal realities, quietly and personally. Our medical work here in the outback has most certainly given us acceptance with the people and given us recognition and support of the authorities, which is always important and desirable. It has given us the freedom, the right, or authority, if you like, to demonstrate our motivation to this work. And of course, our motivation is the love of Christ, which constraineth us. This is our message in Eastern Kenya. This is the story, sweet to hear, old, yet ever new. Many have had cause to thank God for the ministry of our nurses and their nurse aides. Currently, we have 2 clinics, and none can gainsay or resist the services we render to the sick, the needy, the hungry, and the destitute. It is because of our clinic work that our full-time evangelists are enabled to travel from village to village, centre to centre, market to market, and be assured of a hearing. This is the only gospel outreach in this whole area, and many souls are thus reached with the message of the cross. Open-air preaching has great potential, and only eternity will reveal the success it brings. At the end of each meeting, tracts are distributed, and we have the satisfaction of seeing many appreciative and responsive listeners. Our medical work gives us the freedom, the authority to do this work. And as always, the children are not left out, but are given tracts to take home to their parents and guardians. Because of our clinic work, we have a thriving Sunday school and youth program involving around 1,000 children. And when we come together, we have singing, we have preaching, we have prize giving for those who do the catechism. And, as always, we make something nice for the children to eat. All in all, our medical work has proved an excellent vehicle for evangelism. Practical love has opened the way for the message of redeeming love. Last but not least, our new Bible school pilot scheme is proving a big success, set up especially for those pastors and elders who have not had the opportunity of a good training in the Scriptures. Here, men of all ages and varying degrees of capability are taught in the Scriptures, and week by week they come faithfully and eagerly for the classes. Our mission to the lost here in Eastern Kenya is of great advantage in that it is not associated with any particular church or denomination. Being thus independent, we have much more freedom and much more acceptance within the community. Local church involvement, unfortunately, brings its own restrictions, prejudices, limitations, and jealousies, whereas our medical services, being provided for all, regardless of class, creed, or denomination, is on neutral ground. And therefore the message of Christ goes forth to everyone unhindered and unencumbered by the petty partisan differences which all too often are allowed to rend the seamless coat of Christ and divide people where the Bible would have them united.
Wash and wash away my sin, nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Precious is the blood that makes me white as snow. No other fount I know, nothing but the blood of Jesus.
Our work is not limited, however, to evangelism through medicine, for we have another area of service which is very important to us and comes even nearer to our hearts, involving as it does destitute and orphan children. This is our work of child rescue here in Kisumu, Western Kenya. When we speak of child rescue, we speak of rescue in the literal sense of the word. Perhaps a quick glimpse of street life will enable us to better assess what child rescue really means, giving us a benchmark, as it were, from which to gauge the transformation. Street people are in a pitiable and wretched state. Orphaned or abandoned, they live where they can and scavenge among the refuge and filth of city life. This little girl is covering a little paper doll with this remnant of cloth. However, their childhood innocence is soon crushed and destroyed and replaced by the baser vices of humankind. These street boys are on glue, and what a tragic, heartbreaking scene it is. Destroyed in body and souls lost in darkness and despair. Tragedy and hopelessness looks out of their eyes. Now we can see what child rescue means and what it means to you who sponsor a rescued child, giving them the opportunity of finding life, happiness and salvation. Here in famed Child Rescue Centre, Kisumu, we seek to do just that. This year, Aaron and myself spent 5 weeks living at the centre, supervising work that was designed to upgrade the living conditions and make it more comfortable for both management and children. We built 2 large water tanks holding 50,000 litres each. These tanks will ensure that the children will have clean, fresh water at all times. The water is piped off the adjoining roofs. This will make all the difference to the children at the centre. Clean, fresh water on tap at all times for cooking, washing and drinking. While there, we put in a new foundation for a girls' dormitory. When finished, this dormitory will be a big improvement on their present building. We also put new paths fronting all buildings with edging, and we put ballast down to stop the mud from rising during the rainy season. These children are loved and made to know it. They are taught to look on this centre as their home, to take a pride in keeping it clean, and made to feel part of the centre family. Here they are taught teamwork and responsibility. Thus they are being brought up in a balanced, caring environment where we try to give them self-confidence and self-esteem. All but the smallest of them wash their own clothes, both boys and girls. At our centre, our children are very well fed. Good, wholesome food, and plenty of it. I might add that the cook on this occasion was a special treat. Here at Fame Rescue Centre, we do our best to clothe the children with tasteful and comfortable and warm clothing. I think the smiles tell their own story.
Move on down there, the canoe. What about a body warmer? A body warmer is the better for you. You'll be better with
There's only one that didn't appreciate a new coat. Our centre is indeed close to our hearts, for we know all too well the alternative for some of these children. At our centre, many are literally transformed and are what children ought to be, happy, shielded from evil, and taught in the things of God.
Nothing harmful sinners know, nothing but the blood of Jesus. Not on whose hands I am down, nothing but the blood of Jesus. Precious.
Having these things set before you, the viewer can now better judge for themselves the value of child rescue work. However, I think as you see what has been accomplished in so short a time, you will agree that this is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Thank you for making it possible for the work to continue. Remember, financially, FAME was founded on and continues to depend on the £1 per week scheme. It is so simple and so effective. We are reaching thousands with the gospel of Christ, and surely that is what evangelism and the Great Commission is all about.